Jabari, wait. Amina called out, her voice echoing across the dusty courtyard. Jabari turned, his dark eyes shining with mischief. What is it, Amina? He asked, straightening the green cap of his NYSC uniform. Almost everyone in Maji village had gathered to see the young man fresh from university. Girls giggled behind their hands, boys whispered about how handsome he looked. Jabari smiled and tipped his cap. I'm just making sure I find the right hut, he said softly. Amina led him past clay walls and thatched roofs, pointing him toward the chief's compound. Every step he took, the girls peeked at him shyly. His uniform was neat, his shoes polished, and his laugh was kind. Word spread quickly that Jabari cared for everyone, and many girls felt butterflies when he looked their way. By sundown, 5 young women, Amina, Zara, Malaika, Tandi, and Nia, were invited to fetch water for him. They did so gladly, their hearts fluttering. They thought, this kind man will be a true friend in our village. Thank you, Jabari said softly as Zara handed him a calabash full of water. He dipped his hand to wash his face, meeting her eyes. Zara's cheeks glowed pink. Anytime, she whispered. Nearby, Tandi giggled at a story Amina told about city life. Jabari listened and laughed, making each girl feel special. He teased Malaika about her shy smile and asked Nia to teach him the local dances. The sun dipped low, and Jabari promised to join them again the next morning. He kept his promise. At dawn, he walked barefoot to the river, and found the girls already there, waiting in colorful wrappers. Under the rising sun, he joked and helped them carry water. He asked about their dreams. Amina wanted to be a teacher, Zara hoped to start a small store, Malaika dreamed of having a bicycle, Tandi wanted to be a tailor, Nia wished to learn drums. Jabari listened with interest, and the girls felt heard and important. When he left, each heart carried a spark of hope. By the 3rd morning, a gentle rumor ran through the village, Jabari is not only here for service, he might remain in our hearts forever. Jabari, I have to tell you something, Amina said, her hand trembling as she stood by the riverbank. He paused, concern filling his eyes. Yes, he asked kindly. Amina took a shaky breath. I'm expecting your child. At once, Jabari's face went pale. Zara, Malaika, Tandi, and Nia appeared behind her, each holding a small palm leaf, their faces full of worry. We, all of us, are expecting, Zara said softly. For a long moment, silence spread over the river. The gentle rush of water felt loud in their ears. Jabari knelt and looked at each girl's eyes. I never meant to hurt you, he said, voice low. I care for you all. The girls believed him at first. But soon, whispers of fear and shame spread. The elders heard the news by noon. Mothers clutched their daughters, and fathers frowned at Jabari's uniform as if it carried new weight. Yet, despite the fear, the young women felt a strange hope that Jabari might stay, if he only showed he was brave enough to face the consequences. By dusk, Jabari was gone. He's left his cap and water god, Zara whispered, holding the green cap close. The girls searched the hut and the bush, but there was no sign of him. He ran away, Malaika said, tears in her voice. Tandi sank to the ground, crying. Nia looked toward the path leading out of the village, sun still warm on it, and felt her hope slip away. In the chief's compound, elders gathered under the moon. The chief's voice was steady but heavy. He promised service. Instead, he brought shame. Mothers hugged their bellies, and younger children looked up confused. News traveled to neighboring villages, so fast that by morning every family in Maji knew. Yet deep inside, each girl felt a quiet ache. They believed Jabari cared for them once, and they could not let go of that memory, even as the village burned his name in anger. Months passed, and one by one, the girls gave birth under the thatched roofs of their mothers' huts. Amina held her baby girl tightly, wishing for her father's face. Zara named her son Keto, meaning second of twins, though he was an only child. Malaika's baby boy had her gentle smile, and Tandi's daughter cried softly at night, needing her mother's lullaby. Nia's son looked up at her with big brown eyes, and she wondered what will happen when he grows and asks, "Where is my father?" The village felt heavy with grief and anger. Still, each baby brought a quiet joy. Neighbors brought blankets and sweet potatoes. Women gathered by the fire at night, sharing songs of hope. They told stories about brave women in old folk tales, how the Earth Mother cared for all children when fathers were gone. In that warmth, the young mothers found strength. They vowed to raise their children with love, even if Jabari never returned. One dawn, Zora stepped onto the dusty path, clutching Keto in her arms. She had heard tales of Jabari traveling to Kejoni village, 2 days' journey north. Fear and need battled in her heart. If she found him, maybe he would help her child. With silent goodbyes, Zara set out. Amina, Malaika, Tandi, and Nia watched the sun rise over her walking figure, praying for her safe return. Zara walked through tall grass and across a sizzling road. At night, she slept under mango trees, listening to crickets. On the second day, she reached Kejoni village and asked in hushed tones at the well, "Have you seen a young man in NYSC uniform?" The women at the well whispered and pointed to a small hut at the edge. Heart pounding, Zora approached, Keto sleeping on her back. She knocked softly, and the door creaked open. It was Jabari. He stood in plain clothes, no longer in uniform, eyes wide with surprise. "Zara," he whispered. The sun fell between them as if holding its breath. "Look at my son," Zara said, lifting Keto. Jabari's face flooded with regret. I never forgot you," he stammered. "I left because I was scared, not because I didn't care." Tears glistened on his cheeks. Husky with shame, he reached for Keto, who wriggled and giggled at the stranger's face. Zara's anger surged, then softened. She remembered his kindness before the pain. She said, "If you love him, prove it." Jabari nodded, voice steady. "I will," he promised. Word of Zara's visit spread back to Maji like wildfire. The other mothers waited, each heart alight with hope. Jabari returned to Maji at dawn, carrying Zora's Keto and accompanied by a small group from Kejoni. The village stirred as he approached the chief's compound. Mothers huddled around their babies. Fathers emerged, fists clenched. "He's back," one whispered. Jabari lifted Keto high. "I am sorry," he called out. "I will stand by my children and their mothers." The chief studied him, silent. Then he spoke, "If you wish to stay, you must show respect. You will provide for each child." Jabari bowed his head. "Yes, chief." He offered land and labor to the village and promised to teach the children letters and numbers. The mothers exchanged wary looks. Could they trust him? When the chief nodded, they stepped forward one by one, Amina with her daughter, Malaika with her son, Tandi, and Nia likewise. They placed their babies in Jabari's hands. Months later, the village school rang with children's laughter. Jabari taught them under a baobab tree, reading from old books. He carried each child home safely at sunset. The mothers watched him with cautious smiles. One evening, Jabari gathered them by the fire. "I was wrong to run," he began. "But I have learned that bravery is not running away, it is staying and caring." He handed each mother a small cloth bundle. Inside were seeds, cassava, maize, beans, for planting. "For our future," he said. Her heart softened. Amina pressed her hand to her belly, remembering her daughter. Zara hugged Jabari, whispering, "Thank you." The village felt a gentle peace. Where once was shame, now was hope. A year later, the fields of Maji were green and full. Children chased each other under the sun, laughing and singing. At midday, Jabari and the 5 mothers stood together, each holding hands with their child. The chief came forward, smiling proudly. "You have restored honor to this village, Jabari," he said. Jabari bowed. "Because of these mothers, I have learned true courage." In the hush that followed, the children called Jabari Baba, and he called them "my promise." That night, under a blanket of stars, the village celebrated with drums and dance. Amina's daughter took her hand, Zara's son grabbed Jabari's leg, and the mothers swayed in rhythm. Maji village had found healing in forgiveness, and a young man's mistake had become a blessing for many. From that day on, the story of Jabari and the 5 mothers was told around every fire, teaching that love and care can grow stronger than fear and shame. Moral lesson for this story: the story teaches that true courage is facing your mistakes and caring for those you have hurt, and that love, forgiveness, and responsibility can help heal hearts and bring a community together. Thank you for watching this to the end. Please like this video, share, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel, so that whenever we drop an amazing stories like this, you won't miss any of them. Don't forget to comment what you learned from this video.